Oh, you didn't?
SGA once again, little hesitation, the left hand! What a move by SGA! Another block. Chet Holmgren, the long arm of the law. Back in the game. These are key minutes without SGA. And another drive! J. Dom cocks it back and throws it down.
This is Udart. You're listening to the Uncontested.
What is up, and welcome to the Uncontested Podcast, coming to you live Sunday, July 6th. The Thunder have played a Summer League game, boys. I think we're going to talk about that a little bit. I'm your host for the evening, Jacob Niffen. I've got my guy, J.D. Silva.
Hellos.
I got Justin Peabody.
Hello, everybody.
We've got Nick Crane.
Where's Taylor?
Taylor.
That's a question I asked very frequently. Justin, do you remember whenever you first started the podcast and your, what do we call these, like intro calls, like catchphrases were going to be a different Outkast lyric?
Yeah.
Every week?
It was great for
What happened to that?
It was great for like a month. And then it was challenging.
Then you realized that there wasn't enough Outkast lyrics to go around?
Whoa. That was not the issue. It's hard to change it up every time. So I decided to settle into something familiar. Shout out to, I was trying to pull a page from Woody Page's notebook. He would have a different saying on his little chalkboard behind him on PTI, like every single day for like 20 years or something like that. I don't know how he did that.
Chat GPT.
Yeah, I'm sure that was it.
Justin, you'd be doing you'd just be playing like sound bits from the new Andre 3000
The
flute album at this point.
Yes, accurate.
We are brought to you by the Blue Wire Podcast Network and the homies over at Prairie Artisan Ales. Nick wasn't there. Justin and JD and I were at Prairie on Saturday having a grand old time. Boys, what are you?
Grand old time.
What crispy are you cracking on the pod? There's a crispy crack.
Pause. This is a fourth quarter. A delightful fourth quarter. Lemon lime Gatorade made ale. Delicious.
Got a rhinestone rancher.
Ooh, solid choice.
Is that his wiener on the can? That little blue thing hanging down?
It's called a zipper on your jeans, brother.
From a distance, it looks like a wiener.
We need to talk off the pod.
Well,
Yep.
whoa. He's got it's like a
green, a belt buckle.
Green Jolly Rancher flavor, kind of. He's got some green Jolly Ranchers in his back pocket. Look at that.
Look at that.
Oh, nice.
What a guy.
What a guy. I love their art
It's badass.
almost as much as their beer.
Yeah. Amazing.
Go try some Prairie Artisan Ales. Go to the tap room, hang out, have yourself a good time. The beer is great. They got food next door. They got coffee upstairs. We can just stay there all day.
Shout out. While we were sitting there, Jacob Silva and I were just watching like NBA Finals highlights, trying to pick out some clips for a new intro that might be in the works. And dude 2 tables over walked over and introduced himself, asking if we were the Uncontested Podcast because he recognized our voices.
Not even our faces, just the voices.
He said he was listening to us in the car on the way over to Prairie. So I don't think we got his name, but if you're listening, shout out to you. That was pretty
Be
cool.
better at that.
Sorry.
Man tells you awesome story. You say, man, what's your name?
I think his name, he looked like a Steven.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
Steven Adams.
Yeah, I think
He
that
was reading
him.
the newspaper.
He was reading a
He was reading the Daily
commemorative
Oklahoman.
finals
It wasn't Joel Embiid. I'm sorry, Joel Lorenzi. I'll tell you that much.
Joel Embiid.
He's like
it was
Joel
Joel
Embiid.
Embiid.
No, shout out Joel. He was a good dude.
He's still alive.
Rip.
Embiid and Lorenzi.
Also, other things to plug. Join the Patreon. You can find the QR code right above JD's head if you're watching on YouTube. You can also find the link in the description below. It's just patreon.com/theuncontestedpodcast. You get access to bonus pods, free giveaways, exclusive merch. I have not shipped out Patreon pod stickers in probably 6 months, so I should maybe do that.
Yikes, dog.
I'll get that figured out. That's a lot of shipping, brother.
That is a lot of shipping.
Yeah, join the Patreon. You also get access to the Discord. That's where I was going with that. The Discord has an awesome community in there. They're all playing 2K right now, posting their own 2K clips in the Discord, so that's a lot of fun. So you should join. It's a great time. And you should go order some Thunder Championship gear from cottonbureau.com/theuncontested. Bomber jackets go offline tomorrow.
No, they're done.
Oh, if you missed it, sucks to be you, buddy.
Black market eBay. It's like a pair of Jordans.
That's right.
Like $400.
Guess who's
Gone.
Guess who's going to be looking like a jackass without a bomber jacket? That's right, you.
Wow.
But you can get on there and buy some shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts, tank tops, long sleeves, onesies. Nick, you're going to buy your child a onesie?
The Pokemon one is on the list. Is that still available? By the
No.
way?
Absolutely not.
Can we get like a
Yes.
secret order?
Yes, we can.
That'd go hard.
It'd be badass.
JD, you're going to get any onesies for your children?
No, they don't deserve it.
They're too old now.
Yeah, they're pretty old at this point. So can't really wear that anymore.
How old do you guys think JD's oldest child is?
JD's only 16, so the
17.
math and
Yeah.
Oh man.
I bet JD's got a 12-year-old.
That's wild. That's wild.
started early.
Smoot in the chat calling out the Pokemon onesie for your baby. That's an all-time uncontested lore
it
line
is.
for the old heads.
I love it.
Anytime I hear onesie, I think of that exact ad
There's
line.
just things that are just cooked in my brain for forever.
Correct.
Yeah.
I
Brain
can't
Can't hear the
hear
word glizzy without
Yeah,
there's some mayo on it.
I can't
There's
hear the
some
word
mayo
on that glizzy. I can't hear cream cheese without hearing,
Cream cheese in the chat from George.
and I can never hear the city Las Vegas without hearing.
Vegas.
Yeah. Same.
I can't hear the word statistics without
Oh
hearing.
my gosh.
Statistics, Holmes.
JD is hot on the
He
buttons
is.
tonight.
No delay.
I was stressed every time you said a new sounder because there's a lot of sounders on this board.
Anytime I hear somebody say Latvian laser, all I hear in my head is Latvian laser.
How many times is someone saying Latvian
Is
laser?
that a common phrase for you?
Hey, come live in my world for a day, buddy.
Pass.
Wow. Okay. Gentlemen, the Thunder played Summer League basketball
Heyo.
last night, out in Utah. I do not know the score.
92-80. Grizzlies beat the Thunder.
There you go. Score doesn't actually matter, though. What
Great.
matters is how guys played and what they looked like. The Thunder had some exciting guys playing in Summer League, including Nikola Topić, Ajay Mitchell, Brooks Barnhizer, which I'm calling him Barnes for right now. That's my current nickname. Nobody else super exciting that like we actually think might play minutes for the Thunder. We got a dude named Chris Youngblood. That was cool. We got the Sissoko. Is it Maddie Sissoko? How do you pronounce
Madi.
that, Nick? What?
Madi.
Madi Sissoko. No offense, he is way better of a basketball player than I am. He's playing summer league ball. Dude ain't making a roster.
Well,
He-
he's a. Also, a sidebar: the announcers in these games
Are
are
wild.
so.
Awful.
Out of pocket.
Sissoko got his first rebound. Not only did they say the 7-footer skies up for the rebound and call him Sissoko.
Yeah.
But then the graphic 30 seconds later on the broadcast was showing his height, which is 6'7".
They also call him Sissoko a lot.
It just doesn't get worse.
And
it's summer league for everyone.
Nikola Topic's release is identical to Steph Curry's, which is just a wild thing to say.
It's insane.
I've never felt more confident about myself doing play-by-play than I did watching that summer league game.
Oh,
Almost made you miss Doris.
No.
Wow.
Hey, did my eyes deceive me, or was Malevi Leons out there for the
he was. That's the worst. We're not here. Never mind.
Malevi?
No. I was going to talk about
Isn't
the
it
jumper,
Malvi?
but it's not. It's not important.
Anyway.
Did you say Malavi?
She touched my levy.
Anywho, put some respect on Dump Truck Dukas getting 19 minutes, Jacob.
Hey, yeah.
Can I be honest? That we watched this stream was in 400p, and I could not tell the difference between Topić and Dukas. They look the same.
That feels a little racist, but yes.
It was a horrendous stream quality. It felt like they only had half the lights on in the arena. The announcers were terrible, but darn it, I love
Summer League, baby.
I love
It's
Summer League. The only bad part was when they went to review the flagrant call. I'm like, do we really need to do this in
We
Summer
don't.
League?
Absolutely not. All right, let's talk about the Summer League game. Nick, I'm starting with you because I got to give you a shout out. You told me on this podcast 1 week ago today that I told you I was worried about Topić having any sort of dog in him whatsoever.
Update. How do you feel now?
I feel good. He was playing passing lanes. He was getting steals. He can pass really well, even though guys didn't finish. He ran a dude into the dirt, threw him on the ground, hit a layup. People on Twitter are arguing with me about this. Did he actually say words to the guy on the ground? I don't know. But he stood there, didn't get back on defense, and looked down at him, which
He
is
thought
all
words at him.
all I needed. He threw a dude on the ground, finished the layup, and then stared him down while the dude was on the floor. Also, you can read a player's size, like height and weight, but until you see them on a basketball court, he's big. Like, I was
he is.
surprised at how big he was. Nick, just talk a little bit. We're maybe glossing over the most important thing from this game, but let's start with Topić. Tell me what you saw from Topić, what you expected. Did he live up to the hype, especially after not playing for so long?
I thought he played well. Living up to the hype's hard because I think living up to the hype looks a lot like Chet Holmgren game 1 of Utah Summer League, which is a hard bar to clear.
Maybe impossible.
Yeah. The turnovers were everywhere for him, which is like expected given he hadn't played in 14 months and new system, teammates he's never played with, a lot of factors. But I think overall, like, a good showing. Like in Summer League, you can't take much from it, as we all know. I think it's easy to take the negative thing. There's a lot of guys in Summer League that get drafted and you're like, yeah, maybe he's not who we thought he was. There was nothing about Topic's game that makes you think, yeah, he's not going to be a good NBA player. Like everything we saw, the process, especially defensively, that's like what stood out the most in the first half was just jumping passing lanes, getting steals, like defending his butt off. He does the lazy man reach around that I do in pickup where you get blown by and good grief. You get blown by and you try tipping the ball from behind. I think it's a lot of just fatigue and being out of shape. But I think that's the biggest question for him was defense, and I think he showed a lot of that in game 1 of Summer League. Jacob, why don't you give us some thoughts while you're in the middle of dying laughing?
He was much better defensively than I thought, even when he was giving lazy man reach arounds. I was surprised at how good the defense was. And I was very surprised at how physical he was. It started early, just like dribbling the ball. The Grizzlies were trying to pressure a lot. And he was really like lowering that shoulder, pushing dudes out of the way. You're spot on with the turnovers, and that doesn't bother me a ton. but everything I was promised with the court vision, with the playmaking, all of that was there.
Yep.
All
You
of
could
that
see
was-
the vision. You could see the vision right away. Like
and if
you
he
said,
has dudes that can actually finish a layup, he probably has 8 or 9 assists in that game.
And that's why in summer league you watch process, not result. Like there's guys that'll go 3 of 10 in summer league, and you're like, but I liked him getting to his spots. I liked the shots he took. You live with that.
And the 3-ball looked good. Now, it's not Steph Curry good,
That's crazy.
but the
I don't
3-ball
know.
looked pretty good.
It looked. I'll say this. It looked better than it did pre-draft.
Yeah.
I think at least like the rotation on the ball and like the release looked good. I still think there's a lot he's got to fix, but it definitely is better. I'm not
Like
ready to
the-
say he's going to be a great 3-point shooter in the league. Like,
Yeah.
he's far from that, but
The Giddy comparison is going to get thrown around a lot, and his shot does look more natural to me than
way more.
Giddy's at this point.
Yeah, and I think like if there's anything you take from game 1, maybe it is that you can throw the Giddy comps out the window from a play style standpoint. Like Giddy, tell me if this makes sense. Like Chet coming back from injury, there's a lot of times where it just looked like he couldn't move the way he wanted to. It was kind of slow, and his brain was processing where he needed to go, but his body couldn't get there. I felt that way with Josh his entire time in OKC. Like even when he was dribbling, like he had good moves and you could tell he was doing the right things, but he wasn't like
The crossover was real slow.
he wasn't like blowing by people. And like Topić is so much more fluid. Like when he's doing a crossover hezzy, it like looks like a real NBA guard. And like not to say Josh wasn't good at breaking guys off the dribble and getting to the rim, but their games, although they are both international players that are jumbo guards that
You almost
can pass
said
well.
white. I saw it.
Yeah. Their games are very, very different.
Yeah.
I agree. The playmaking, right, is gonna draw the comps. Playmaking, not necessarily a shoot first guard. It's gonna draw those comparisons. But I agree. I think watching him in summer league, it was nice to see. It's just nice to see it against a closer level of competition to what he'll be facing in the NBA. I say this every year, but like summer league is not real. It doesn't matter. I think what you said, Nick, of process over results is dead on. Seeing him do this, albeit in one game in Utah Summer League, doesn't mean a lot, but it means a little bit more than the grainy footage we got out of Europe. That it's just comforting to see, right? Because we've gone through this before with past prospects that will not be named. It's nice to see it against this level of competition.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to continue to watch him in summer league. I'm really excited to watch him next season to integrate with the Thunder and see what he could do with this team. Because I think immediately what jumps off with that playmaking ability is just something that second unit desperately needed at times this year. And you're coming off a championship. There's not a ton to nitpick because you won the championship, but playmaking ability when Shea was off the floor elevates this team to a different place. Like it opens up new things in rotations. It changes the guys you can play together. They were having to rely on Hartenstein a lot to be the playmaker when Shea was off the floor. Late in the year, it was Dub. What happens to Dub's minutes or rotation if you have Topić and the guy I'm assuming we're probably going to talk about next, Ajay Mitchell? Like having those two guys and their playmaking ability, I'm just really excited to see what this team looks like having those options off the bench.
Yeah. It is a little interesting with Topić primarily being an on-ball guy, even though we saw him play a lot of off-ball the other night, and they're going to put him in tons of different situations. It's just gathering information, like learning how he plays. I also thought the finishing at the rim was nice. He had specifically one play that I just thought was a really great heads-up play.
The
where
decel.
Yes, I love that. And he had one where it was like a fast break,
Mm-hmm.
and a guy was chasing him down. And instead of trying to like out-athlete the dude to the rim, he like veered into the dude's lane and like slowed down and put him in jail and then finished.
Yep.
Which I really liked. So
he had another one where he was coming up the floor, and I forget who was in front of him, but a Memphis player was in front of him and was trying to see which way he was going, and whichever direction he turned, Topić went the other way, and they were just like weaving. And then as soon as the guy started to turn his hips, Topić just shot a floater and drained it. Great awareness.
Yeah. So I we'll see more as Summer League goes on. But Nick, like you said, the process so far, I've really liked. Let's stop talking about Topić and let's talk about the most important guy in that game, who was a minus 17.
Waiting on the sounder, Silva.
What? What sounder?
I don't know. I was just waiting for you guys to say minus 17 doesn't matter.
No.
Plus minus is
is
basically a team stat.
I'm looking for it. Where the hell is it? Where is it?
Plus minus is basically a team stat.
I love the snort.
Why
at the
did he
end.
do that at the end?
I don't know.
Why does Taylor do half the stuff he does? I don't know. Only the
My
Lord
dream
knows.
scenario is that one of these days, so like Silva, when he gets the sounders, I'm assuming he's in like a software where he's like go double click on the sounder. My dream is that one day we like buy some kind of like old school like button machine
Yes.
where like on the wall next to him and they're all like labeled with what are those back in the day there was those things you could like type something up and it would print out a little label that you could slap on
those
stuff.
little
A label maker.
Label
maker.
maker, yeah. I was like 7 when
Remember
those things
Nick?
existed. I would like a big like a control center with buttons and each of them has a
Yes.
label above it. And so Silva could just be like, boop.
And I'd
It'd be
like if that
elite.
was we had a camera just pointed at
Yes!
that.
Just on that. Yeah.
Dude, or even better, now we're going in the rabbit hole. When you watch College Game Day and there's like the main guys on the desk and then there's like the bear off to the side. If Silva's the bear, he's got his own little screen off to the side and he's got his little buttons. Oh,
My God.
I love it. Let's
You
talk
could be
about
my
the
bear.
minus 17 guy. Ajay Mitchell posted 24 points, 1 rebound, 6 assists, a steal, shot 10 of 18 from the floor, only 1 of 3 from 3, 3 of 3 from the free throw line. Here's how we're going to talk about Ajay Mitchell. I'm going to make a statement. You guys debate the statement. Ajay Mitchell, Season 2, Game 1 of Summer League, is on par with J-Dub, Season 2, Game 1 of Summer League. Discuss.
I'm trying to remember that game. I know my prevailing thought was like he's way too good for this.
And we all talked about how slow the game looked. He looked like the
No.
best player on the court. He
It's-
processed everything at a different level than anybody else.
I'm not gonna lie, it's really hard to compare only because while the minute the players drafted, their position no longer matters. It's hard to like think about AJ as a lottery pick in year 2, like Dub was, versus being a second round pick who was on a 2-way, who got promoted, who's now on a $3 million deal over the. It's hard to like think about them in the same light. And when you're watching them, I think just like you watch a guy like Bradley Beal relative to his contract, you watch a guy like AJ Mitchell relative to his draft positioning. It's just a natural thing to do. I don't know. It's really hard. It's a really hard comparison. Like,
Did he look like the best player on the floor last night?
besides Jalen Wells, yes.
Yeah.
And
Did he look
Jalen
like he
Wells
was-
is a third in rookie of the year voting, is top
Mhm.
5, maybe 10 guy in that class. When it's all said and done, you can't judge off 1 year really. But yeah, I mean, AJ was also on track to maybe make an all rookie team last year. Like it's hard. I don't know. I think, and also the fact that Dub just scored 40 in a final. It's hard to compare anybody to Jalen
Exactly.
Williams.
It's hard to
Just like-
separate from that.
But
Yeah.
yes, I'm sure he probably, if we could go back in time and think about how he felt about Dub in that moment, it probably was similar. I don't know.
Is he gonna play again?
Wells was guarding AJ Mitchell too,
Yeah.
and AJ Mitchell did that.
Which is not nothing. Yeah. I think that's noteworthy.
Wells would have been the main shea defender in the
Mhm.
first round
He's,
had he
he's
not
so
gotten
good
hurt.
defensively. Yeah.
He's good.
You know, John Morant had him figured out.
Gosh. I will say I'm with Silva in that. Well, and I guess Nick too. It's hard. It's just hard to dissociate from all the other things that are in my head about Dub and remember in a vacuum how I was talking about Dub in that moment. I probably give the nod to Dub. But for me, what really stood out with AJ is, outside of the random minutes he got in the finals, it's been a long time since we saw him play. And I think it was really nice to see him put on that type of performance coming off an injury for the extended time that he was out. It was reassuring to just see him go out there and hoop like that. Like all the reasons that we were so enamored with AJ when he was firmly in the rotation during the regular season, it was nice to be reminded of that, albeit in Salt Lake City Summer League. But I think it was very apparent, like you said, the game had slowed down. When you get as much burn as AJ did or J-Dub did in his rookie season, you come back to Summer League and it's just very apparent, who the game has slowed down for and who it hasn't. And I think AJ, even when I guess he wasn't in the rotation, he's going up every day in practice against the world champs. So that's pretty good exposure too.
I like what stood out to me. We can't comprehend this because we are just average human beings that go play pickup sometimes. Like when we drive the ball to the basket, like we're either going to drive with the intent of either scoring or kicking. Like it's a very 2-option kind of thing. NBA players process like second by second or step by step. And I think what stands out with AJ is like puts the ball on the floor. And it's not just like, do I score? Do I pass? It's like, how do I navigate my way to the rim? And his footwork and his spin moves, like all the things he was doing to get to the rim, and whether it's to score or to dish out, you could tell that it was like in real time. He was like, I'm taking one dribble to the right. Okay, defender took my top foot. So I'm going to spin back now and gain leverage and go on his top foot. And now my next dribble move is going to be away from the basket to create space. Okay, he overcommitted. Now I'm going to go back towards the basket because I can blow by. It's the way he's able to process in real time now, albeit in a summer league setting, looks very different. And I think the pushback that I've seen on like social media is like, how could he make a jump? They just finished playing a week ago, but it doesn't work that way. It's like Jalen Williams elevated his game in the playoffs from into the regular season to a week later when the playoffs started. Like there's just like moments that click when you're an NBA player. And I think that AJ's processing and footwork and like handling of the ball is all like coming together in real time.
I love that. If I asked you guys right now, you had to make a decision. Who gets more actual, like meaningful NBA minutes and is relied on more in the rotation next year? Ajay Mitchell or Nikola Topić? And I'm asking you this right now on July 6th with one summer league game. What's your guess?
AJ Mitchell, but I don't feel like super good about that. I think they're both going to end up being around the same as far as minutes distribution goes, but I don't know. AJ was really, really important to the team last year when he did play, and it's easier for me to go with the known than the unknown.
I also agree. I think it's AJ. I think you'll get a good look at both of them, like Silva's saying. I wouldn't be surprised to see, to your point earlier about Topic's frame, do you see Topić and AJ out there together quite a bit? And do you see Topić playing off ball some? He obviously can do a lot when he's the primary ball handler, but I wonder if you see them kind of utilize some of that playmaking ability, not like Hartenstein at all, but how Hartenstein's able to play make as a big, where you can kind of run the offense through him a little bit, even if he's not the point on the floor. I think that could be interesting. I think that'll really be a test of how much dog he's got if you're playing him, potentially at a wing spot. But I lean AJ.
I have a take. I've been workshopping internally in my brain, and I'd like to hear if you guys think it's a hot one or if it's not a hot one.
I love it.
And I'd like you to give me like a answer that's unbiased, as like somebody that like, if you did not actively root for the Thunder, what would you think? AJ Mitchell defensively, I think that this time next year, we're talking about him as like a phenomenal defender. I think if you think back to last season, his like picking up full court or like hounding a guy at 3/4 or, showing off and hedging or doubling or whatever he does based on the scheme. I think that the fact that he was on the Oklahoma City Thunder, he gets overshadowed because there's so many good defenders. And I think that if he was on almost any other team in the league, the sentiment surrounding him is bulldog defender. And he kind of got that last season in OKC, but he doesn't get the hype because there's also Kaysen and Caruso and Chet and all these other guys. I think that to answer your question, Jacob, he has more trust and more minutes because of his defense. And I just think that while we saw good defensive moments last year, I think we're really underestimating how damn good he is defensively.
I think I don't know if he'd start on any team in the league, but I do think he is a high level defender. I talked about it since day one when he got NBA minutes. That dude's just tough as hell. He welcomes the switch onto the big. He's super physical. He pushes, he grabs, he shoves, he bumps guys. There's a handful of things that go into being a good defender. One is timing. One is IQ. One is just that bulldog mentality. I think he has all those things. He's not the biggest dude in the world, but I think he's a really, really good defender. So I don't think you're off on that, Nick. And that would be my argument as well, is that his two-way play and a little more comfortability playing off the ball gives AJ the upper hand in who gets more minutes for me.
Yeah, Nick, you said you wanted an unbiased answer, and I do realize I'm currently wearing the Thunder Championship shirt, so that's a little tough to do right now. But I had a thought mid-season, and then AJ missed a bunch of time. I had it again in the playoffs, in the finals specifically, of a player that he reminds me a ton of, and that's Andrew Nembhard. I think they're very similar players in terms of play style. Nembhard's amazing, and it'd be awesome. Would we be very lucky?
If he ends up as Nembhard, that's just an embarrassment of riches.
Yeah, that's just who he reminds me of a lot. And I mean, that would be incredible. I don't know when he'll get that type of opportunity that Nembhard got, but that's the guy he reminds me of the most.
That's a what?
I don't disagree. I don't know if he gets it's a whole rabbit hole. Nembhard was unreal in the playoffs. I don't think Nembhard was as impressive in the regular season. I think there's a real case to be said that the jump that Nembhard made in the playoffs will continue, and that's who he is. It doesn't always happen. There's a lot of guys. Caleb Martin with the Miami Heat, or was it Cody Martin? One of the Martin with the Miami Heat a couple years ago went off, and it was oh my gosh, this guy is so good. And then ever since, it's now he's on the Mavs, not really playing. He's always hurt. I hope that Nembhard is that's who he is moving forward. But I do think there's some similarities with that bulldog defensive mentality. I'm going to give you a guy that I see flashes of offensively, and I don't want you to start screaming at me, because I'm not saying shot selection wise, I'm not saying decision making wise, but the way they move on the floor and their footwork and their ability to create advantages. I saw some, and I'm not saying he's going to be this player at all. Just saying what I saw flashes of in one Summer League game, D'Angelo Russell. Some of his moves gave D'Lo vibes, legitimately.
I hope
creating
he's not that
for
dumb.
himself. You said what?
I hope he's not that dumb.
Oh boy!
Did you not hear my whole?
I know. I'm just busting you.
You're busting my what?
Busting your butt.
Oh, okay.
Just giving you a lazy man reach around, all right?
Oh. I think I agree with you all. I think AJ has the tools. I think it's hard. It is hard to evaluate in the context of this team because everybody is so good at defense. Because I also can't get the image out of my mind of him getting absolutely barbecued in game one of the finals. He was out there for 3 minutes and was the primary defender on 3 straight buckets for the Pacers. And so he could still be a mismatch that gets picked on depending on who's on the floor. But I do think if you're going to learn, this is the team to learn from. He's in a great situation. I think he's got the physical tools, which is what I think you all were getting at. There's so much potential there. I think it continues to be just an incredible find that Sam Presti had to get AJ where he got him and to get this much production out of him. It's hard to imagine what this season could have looked like if he hadn't gotten injured.
We should do a redraft at some point, see how high AJ goes.
Absolutely. Also, I was gonna make a comp. Justin just said something that I want to respond to, and now I can't remember what it was. What'd you start that with? No. I had a
Then
comp.
he got barbecued against the Pacers in the finals.
Yeah.
Yeah, you made a face when I said that.
That's like throwing me in there in the finals. Like I'm
Not
gonna get
really.
cooked too. Well, he hadn't played like any.
You would have gotten
minutes.
murdered.
He definitely had some nerves, and
Yeah, he had some nerve.
They
That
just
was
had
a
him
wild. That was a wild moment to be out there for sure.
I was
mad at
about
Mark
to
for
make
doing
my
that.
defensive comp. Nick made the offensive comp of D'Angelo Russell. Sometimes defensively, just kind of the bulldog mentality and how he gets like underneath guys and how he really fights in the post. I'm not saying he's going to be this good defensively. If he is, that's insane.
We got to stop hedging our takes. Just let him fly.
Mike Conley.
Oh, okay.
But then I just looked it up. AJ's 6'5",
Yeah.
yes,
and Mike Conley is 6 foot flat. I'm
Yeah.
taller than Mike Conley, and AJ is 6'5".
you thought AJ was tiny?
I thought he was like 6'1", 6'2".
No, brother.
Brother's 6'5".
He's like more like 6'4" probably. With shoes, maybe 6'5". But yeah, he's not a small guard. He's
Well,
not a
good
jumbo.
thing he
but
doesn't
he's not a
play
small guard.
barefoot then, Nick. I always hated this is what he measures without shoes. Who gives a crap? They don't play basketball without shoes. This is what he weighs without a jersey. We'll put a jersey on him. Like, what are we doing?
It's because not all shoes are created equal from a height perspective, and if you measured them with shoes, people would
Someone's
wear.
out there playing in platforms.
Yes.
Is there a rule against that?
Why not? Yeah.
Cody Williams
is-
looks like he's playing in platforms.
All right. AJ Mitchell, awesome. Do we think he plays in Vegas? Is he playing
One
like
game.
all summer league?
I
Okay.
think he
Vegas.
plays. I think he plays 4 games. I don't think he plays the second game of Utah because it's a second out of back-to-back.
You mean wait, the third game?
Sorry, the second game of the back-to-back
Okay.
in Utah that's coming up. 'Cause
Tracking.
They played in the past. They've played. Is it 3 nights in a row normally? I feel like this year is a little
Something
more
like
spread
that.
out.
Yeah.
This year it's 1 and then a day off and then 2 games. I don't think he plays the last game of that back-to-back. I think he plays 1, maybe 2. So long way of saying, I think he ends up logging minutes in 4 summer league games in totality.
Nice. We
that?
got to stop talking about this summer league game because we're 37 minutes into this podcast and we have so much
The
other
off
stuff.
season, baby.
We're probably not getting to all of our other stuff on this
Yes,
show.
we are.
We're gonna kick it down the road.
We have to.
We do
we have
have
a
to
whole off
mention.
season to stretch this content out.
We do got to mention Brooks Barnhizer. There we go.
Got to
Barnhizer.
work on that.
Brooks Barnhizer, Barnesy boy. 9 points, 1 steal, 1 block, 13 rebounds. Real quick takeaway of Barnesy boy. He looked like a grown man and he played like a grown man.
Brooks Boonhauer.
Dang on Brooks Barnhizer, damn what boy?
Dang old rebounds. I think putting him on a team with Alex Caruso and Lou Dort to just be able to learn under those guys and potentially kind of emulate that role is awesome. Again, 1 summer league game, so tap the brakes, but it's doing the little things, mucking things up, getting rebounds. Like, he's going to fit right in. He's going to fit. Mark's going to give him minutes because Mark loves that stuff. He's going to get minutes at some point for this team. Probably not a ton. He's probably not cracking the rotation this year, but he's going to play some.
Justin, he talked about wanting to learn from guys like Alex Caruso and Lou Dort.
Yeah.
And I think he was saying that in the context of like late second round undrafted. You know who I think he just needs to hang out with and learn from? Like, if you could pair him with one player on this roster just to be under their wing and learn from them, who would you choose?
I
Mitch
think it might
Williams?
be the same answer as who I was going to say is maybe his most realistic NBA comp on this Thunder team.
Oh, okay. Justin, give me your answer first.
Um,
If you could put him with one Thunder player and say, hey, I just
Nick's
mirror
comments
this guy.
throwing me off because I was going to go a different direction.
Ooh. Don't guess Nick's. Give me yours.
Yeah. I was going to say, this is going to sound weird initially, but I was going to say Chet Holmgren. Not in that, like, he's not a center, but like mentality, approach to the game. Like, just go learn how to be a dog from Chet and what resilience means and toughness and all that kind of stuff. I think that if he inherits any of those qualities from Chet, he'll be awesome.
JD,
Kenrich Williams.
Nick.
Yep. That's the one. If
I think he's Kenny. I think he's Kenny.
Brooks makes it in the NBA, that is the role.
I agree. He's fun.
I like that.
Yeah.
He's a big little boy.
Way better rebounder.
Dude, he eats glass.
Yeah.
He eats glass. Also, somebody in the comments here said big red barn, and that made me think of big old rat. Can I get a big old rat sounder?
Big old rat.
Big red barn.
Why red?
Oh, can you guys still hear me?
Yes. What's happening?
He looks
Looks like someone turned out the lights on Jacob.
Time to go to bed, sweetie.
Night.
We're
There
back.
he is. What happened?
My Mac has been tripping out today. Let's take a break. On the other side, we are going to do some trivia. We'll be right back. We are back. It is time for some trivia. JD, we don't have a trivia sounder, but will you just play a sounder for the start of trivia?
He needs to do some 6'9" things.
To our note about heights, Josh Giddey's not 6'9". I stood next to that man, and we were the exact same height, and I am not 6'9".
How tall are you?
6'7".
Ooh.
Put me in some platform shoes, though, maybe.
Let's play some trivia, boys. I reached out to the folks on Discord, asked them to do my job for me. They came through. Love the folks on Discord.
Do my job for me.
Join the Discord.
That's right.
You can do my job for me too.
Shout out Prairie before we get into the questions because we were there on Saturday, and I had a new beer that I had not tried before, which I'm trying to find the name. It was called Just One More. Listen to this description. They didn't sell it in like little cans, but you could pick up a crowler, or if you go visit the tap room, you can try it. It is a sour ale made with double stuff Oreos, raspberry, vanilla, and cocoa nibs.
Jeez.
It was so good.
I need to try that.
And it made me want just one more.
Child?
No. I don't think that's what the name means. Bow, wow, wow, wow. Anyway.
First trivia question comes from our guy, Smoot. Shout out Smoot. Smoot's over here in the chat. You guys got the chat closed, by the way?
No, hold on. Yep.
I was looking for Smoot in OKC. Couldn't find him in the playoffs.
Yeah, he was upset because he wanted to meet you.
So I'm trying to find him.
Wow.
Everyone met Smoot except for Nick.
It's messed up.
Smoot asks, how many players on the current Thunder roster, not counting two-ways, made their NBA debut with the Thunder in Summer League? So how many guys are on the roster right now who made their NBA debut with the Thunder in Summer League? Two ways do not count.
Two ways currently, or two ways when they joined the
That's
team?
what I was going to ask. I'm assuming it means
current
two-ways.
two-way guys.
I'm ready.
We need some like background trivia music.
That's
because
your
it gets
job,
real
dude.
long.
We're all thinking.
I'm thinking right now.
You got to
damn it.
fill the silence.
Down. It's not enough. Few minutes for trivia, but it's not enough.
That was awful.
You ready?
No.
Yes. Oh my gosh. The people are yearning, Nick.
They're yearning?
Yearning.
Yearning. Silva's just going to slowly hold up his answer.
Nick looks like the gif of the
What are you
woman that's looking
doing?
around.
Yes,
that has all the
like,
math
what?
symbols.
Nick, you drawing all the damn names?
Yes.
He's drawing
I'm just
pictures
writing
of
a
each
number.
player.
Let's write the number.
Well, to get the number, you got to know the names. You're just guessing a number.
Yes, that's exactly what you do.
Not how you win. That's how you lose,
It's not
brother.
how you win. I'm gonna get it right, and you're gonna get it wrong.
I only found 7 names, but I'm going to put 8 because I'm probably forgetting one.
Guess what I wrote? I wrote 7.
We have 7, 8, and 9. The answer 9.
No. I really wanted to get that right just to rub it in Nick's
The
face.
list. Hey, Nick, did you erase your list?
No.
Okay. Nick, hold up your list and check them off as I go through them. You ready?
Think.
We got Usman Jang,
Yep.
Lou Dort, Chet Holmgren,
Nick trying to check it off backwards. This is
AJ
Left-handed.
Ajay Mitchell, Nikola Topić, Kaysen Wallace,
Why did Nikola need a first name?
Aaron Wiggins,
God.
Wiggins.
J-Dub, and J. Will.
Okay, that's the 2 I missed. I missed Wiggins and J. Will.
Next trivia question comes from our guy Dorian on the Discord. Shout out to Ryan. He says, who holds the record for most points scored in a Las Vegas Summer League game? Bonus points if you can give me the number of points scored. Who has scored the most points in NBA history in a Las Vegas Summer League game? And how many points was it?
It was.
This feels like something I should know, but I have no idea.
Do you want a hint?
No.
No. And there's. Okay.
Nick's got something.
I know who it is, but I don't know if it's been surpassed since. I doubt it.
I don't think it has, Nick.
Mine is probably wrong, but it might be right.
If
That's
you're
the
not
spirit.
if you're not sure, it's wrong.
I'm not sure. I don't know. This.
Let's see them, boys.
I said Michael Beasley. Whoa! 2 Anthony Moros.
Anthony Morrow, 56. Anthony Morrow, 47. Michael Beasley, how much?
I didn't write a number.
Oh, did you guys recently see that interview where Michael Beasley and Dwight Howard were
Yes.
on that podcast?
Yes.
No.
Anybody else? Oh, apparently Dwight Howard was trying to sleep with Beasley's sister while they were in high school.
The more
Thanks
you
for letting
know.
us know.
The answer is Anthony Morrow with 47.
I don't remember.
Good job,
this.
Nick.
Thank you.
I don't remember that
Warriors.
at all.
Warriors
It was
Summer
not
The
League?
Thunder.
Yeah, it was Warriors, I think.
Yeah, but the reason the question was asked, you got to know this, Justin. A trivia question on the uncontested is not about a Thunder that's not related to, or not about a player that's not related to the Thunder.
Unless it's Mickey Redbottom.
That's true.
Didn't Morrow
Last-
scored like 40 like several games in a row or some crazy shit?
As a
Last
rookie, yeah.
one comes from the homie Thunder chick, who says, how many Thunder players went from Summer League for the Thunder in 2023 to winning an NBA championship in 2025? How many players played on the 2023 Thunder Summer League team that won a title in 25?
Nick's going to take 25 minutes and write down a list.
Think about who they drafted in 23. And then think about who played on that team. And then think about who won an NBA championship. And after you've done that 3-way Venn diagram, write the names down.
Write the names
Write
down?
the names
Or
down?
give me the number.
Okay, thank you. You're getting a number. Such
You
a
ready, Nick?
tease.
So just to be clear,
Oh boy.
this is players drafted by the
Pla-
Thunder.
played in players who played in 2023 NBA Summer League for the Oklahoma City Thunder and then won a title 2 weeks ago with the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Okay.
Isn't that crazy? It's only been 2 weeks.
It is.
I thought you were saying guys drafted in the 20. Okay. We're good.
Let's see 'em,
Ready?
boys.
I said 5.
5. Nick's got 4. JD has
J-Dub
3.
Silva.
The answer, 5.
Hey-o.
Name them.
Okay.
Name to get points.
Okay.
Kaysen Wallace played.
Oh, or not.
Oh. I'll name him. Cason Wallace played because he got
forgot
drafted
Chet,
that
that's
year.
why.
Chet, J-Dub, J-Will, and everyone's favorite Frenchman, Ousmane Dieng.
Wait, then 6.
That's
Who's
5,
the
buddy.
6th?
Queso,
Chet,
Chet,
the Jalen's, and Dieng.
Aaron Wiggins played that year too.
Uh-oh.
She sent me
I'm
the
almost
box
positive.
score. Let's look. Thunder Chick, are you a liar?
This is where Jacob caveats by saying he doesn't fact check anything.
I actually don't know this for fact. I'm just
Here's the
thinking-
roster. Dieng, Holmgren, J. Will, Queso, Trey Mann, Jaden Shackelford, Daquan Plowden, Keontae Johnson, Jared Butler, J-Dub, JRE, KJ Williams, Tanner Groves, Justice Suing, Caleb McConnell, Hunter Maldonado, Zaire Smith, Jamias Ramsey.
no Wiggins?
No, Wiggins.
I'm shocked.
Why?
Shocked.
I don't remember that.
How dare you ever call Thunder Chick a liar
I didn't
again?
call her a liar.
You did. We all heard it.
I was just shocked that Wiggins had already proven so much by then that he didn't need to play summer league.
Let's take another quick break. On the other side, we're going to talk about some dumb stuff and then get out of here. We'll be right back. And we are back. Let's talk about some dumb stuff.
Love that.
Bradley Beal
Hey!
looking for a buyout, aren't we all? I wish someone would pay me 50-something million to not play basketball. I would do it. Sign me up. Apparently, he's looking at his options if he does get bought out, which naturally is going to lead Thunder fans to saying, oh, should they go get Bradley Beal? JD, if Bradley Beal gets bought out and you can get him on a minimum, should the Thunder sign Bradley Beal, which would also mean they have to get rid of a guy in the roster? And if your answer is yes, who should they get rid of? And give us your...
Caveat.
Uh-oh.
It'll not be for the minimum. So we should talk in real terms. It'll likely be 7 to 12 million a year.
Okay, 7 to 12 million per year for Bradley Beal. What
answer.
say you, JD?
My answer is why the hell not? My answer as far as who they should cut, it's an easy one. He's from France. It's Ousmane Dieng.
Silva, why don't you look up how much he makes per year?
Are you trying to get
Oos?
me to Oos?
That's why Nick
Nick's
chose
trying
that
to make the
number.
money match.
No. I picked that number because if he gets bought out, there's no way in hell that he's not giving something back. Like he's gonna have to give back some kind of money
To
No.
Phoenix?
to Phoenix,
Yeah.
and he's not going to
Yes.
sign for a minimum if he gave up $20 million.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So like, there's no way you're getting him on a minimum. I'm just ballparking what I think he
Mhm.
may give back per year.
I just like Thunder fans continually looking at we should get Brad Beal, like the Green Goblin mask, for like the last 15 years. We can't
The
escape
one thing that's
Brad Beal
interesting about
rumors.
this, JD, it's documented by Brad Beal himself that Sam Presti tried to trade for him on draft night. Tried to trade for the pick that was going to be Brad Beal.
Yeah.
Tried to move James Harden for him.
Before he became a loser.
Before
James
Brad
Harden
became
or
a
Brad
loser?
Beal.
Brad Beal.
Oh. Which is kind of interesting because they traded Harden in October and Presti was trying to get rid of him in June. Which is kind of crazy. Like a week after the finals. He apparently just had enough of his crap. So we know Presti was interested in Brad Beal. Mark Daignault, assistant coach on that Brad Beal Florida Gators team. Anything to read into there?
I am led to believe that winning has not been the main priority for Bradley Beal throughout his career. If that was the case, I think the Thunder would be like a top 2 option for him in this decision-making process. So I don't know. I don't know if that relationship is enough for him. That's kind of my concern there. I think he'll end up in a larger city.
Justin, what do you think about this? Do you want them to sign Brad Beal? Is he a good fit? Would it mess with the locker room at all?
It definitely changes the dynamic, but I think if I'm Brad Beal, to Silva's point, I've not played a lot of winning basketball. At this stage in your career, are you willing to suck it up, take a cheap deal to join a contender, and have a chance to go do something meaningful for the first time in your career? Right? Like, that's not unheard of. It would be different. You know, it's not the Washington Wizards. It's not whatever they've been doing in Phoenix. But if he accepted that role, which I would think he would, right? Like, if you're joining the Thunder, you're stepping into an opportunity to be the front runner for the title next year. And Bradley Beal could answer a lot of the woes that we had with this team in the playoffs, which was 3-point shooting. He's a great shooter. Could he play that? Could he play a little bit of that like catch and shoot 3-pointer role on this team? I think that would be the question. But he's a heck of an option to have if he does.
Could he hold up defensively?
Yeah.
I think he'd be.
Thunder,
he could do enough.
The Thunder, I think, are doubling and tripling down on this is the way we won the title. We didn't shoot well, and we still won an NBA championship.
He can.
Do you guys know how old Bradley Beal is?
Old.
Yes.
37.
32.
No,
He's 32.
37. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I think this is a very cut and dry conversation with the Thunder. And I think there will be a conversation with the Thunder. It may be a short one. One, it comes down to like how much money did you give up in the buyout? Because that's going to either make you a viable option or it's not. If he ends up giving up $12 million per year, and that's what he wants to make up on his next contract, like Oklahoma City's not going to be a fit. So that's the first thing is financials. Second thing, which is really where the conversation either continues or ends, is, hey, you will be at best the 6th or 7th option on this team. Are you willing to take that role?
At best.
Yeah. Are you willing to take that role? If he says, yes, I'm at a point in my career where I prioritize winning, like Silva talked about. I don't need to be a starter or even like part of a big three. I want to contribute to a team that has a chance to win it all. Then conversation probably continues. Like there's just like a regular job interview. Like this continues. If he wants to be a starter or a top 3 option, the conversation stops there. So for me, it's like, if we get a tweet from whatever insider tomorrow that Brad Beal's short list of options, here they are, the Thunder is one of them, my assumption is those conversations are progressing in the right direction. If they're not, it's because it doesn't fit. And like, you're in a situation in Oklahoma City where you don't have to force it. There's teams that are going to force it. They're going to either overpay him or promise him a role that's not
like
what he needs or
like
not going to be good
Bucks.
for the
The
team.
Bucks.
And it's like, it's not going to, we know how that story goes. We've seen this time and time again. So it just really comes down to fit. And if he ends up in OKC, I would say it's a long shot. It's for the right reasons. If he ends up in OKC somehow, it's because the money worked and he's willing to take a back seat and he just wants to be that bench scorer. Like, and it works that way and the ties work. But if it doesn't, then that's fine. You're good.
Yep.
You're still the front runner.
Let's play a game. Let's say the Thunder waive Ousmane Dieng, sign Bradley Beal to a very team-friendly contract, slightly above the veteran minimum. We assume the vibes are good. We assume Brad's not going to hijack the locker room. We assume everything's going to be good.
He's a good dude. He's not going to hijack the locker.
Let's assume everything is good. Let's assume a natural progression of the players currently on the team. When it comes to playoff time, and we're looking at saying pecking order sounds like leaders of the scoreboard. I'm saying guys that Mark is going to throw out there saying an NBA Finals game is wild because Ajay Mitchell got minutes, but it's like, hey, it's
Consistent.
It's the NBA Finals. Like, this is my order of guys I am putting out there that I trust. Let's draft top until we get to Beal. JD, you get pick 1.
SGA.
Justin,
Jalen Williams.
Nick,
Chet.
we're snake drafting. Justin.
Shouldn't that mean Nick
Get
gets to
another
go
one then?
twice?
Oh yeah, Nick gets to go twice. Sorry,
Dort.
Go ahead, Nick. So we got SGA, Dub, Chet, Dort. Justin,
Alex Caruso.
JD,
Case and Wallace.
Justin. No, JD again. Sorry, I'm bad at snake draft.
Who am I missing?
Hartenstein.
Okay, Hartenstein. Yeah.
Hartenstein's the one starter we haven't gone through. There's 7. Justin.
This is where you
It's kind
This
start to
is,
really
I
consider.
think he
Knocking
could
on the
be
door.
Beal. Yeah.
Here's my take on this, Jacob. And you make a good point. 7th at best, I think, is or 8th.
We just
at
got
best.
to 7, so this would be
Well,
eight.
situationally, yeah.
Yeah, and you would be arguing with Aaron Wiggins here?
I think those Indianapolis games where Aaron Wiggins was just lost at home, he was phenomenal.
And Kaysen for
And
chunks
Kaysen,
of that
like,
too.
Like Bradley Beal, veteran Indianapolis. You go into that game, and I mean, he gets trolled for his contract. It's a bad contract. But if you remove the financials from what he's being paid, he is a phenomenal scorer, even at age 32 today. Phenomenal. Like really, 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 really good scorer, efficient scorer. He gets those minutes over Wiggins and Indy. There's no question.
Yeah. My only pushback is the defensive side. And again, like I know he's not a bad defender, but when push came to shove, this team played the
What
starters.
has Aaron Wiggins shown you?
Kaysen Wallace and Alex Caruso.
Yeah.
Like I feel like Wiggins' minutes, those games where he wasn't hitting, like got cut significantly.
Yeah. And that's the key, is I think it's the Wiggins Joe minutes that if those guys hit, they're playing more minutes. I think Beal slides right in there, and I think you feel good. Given his pedigree, you feel good about him hitting, especially on the road, which is where the woes set in. If he could bring that scoring burst, he absolutely eats up those minutes and gives you a big boost.
He has the defensive upside. I'll say 6'8" wingspan. He has defended in his career. It's been mostly like, I don't want to defend because he's on an ass team.
Let's bring this full circle as we close out the show. We get to the playoffs, and it's hard to project things for young players. I'm going to say that throughout the regular season and the first round of the playoffs, you would describe yourself as, quote, pleasantly surprised at how good Ajay Mitchell has played. Does AJ get that 8 spot over Brad? Or is he in that Brad, Wiggins, Isaiah Joe conversation?
Different production. I don't think he's going to go get you buckets. I think he's going to be more of a facilitator for the guys that are getting you the buckets.
I think AJ emerging on this team is a year away. Like, actually emerging.
Regular season emergence for sure is here.
Yeah.
Playoffs, different story. Question for you, Jacob.
All right.
Mr. Question Master. It doesn't work this way. If someone called you tomorrow and you're Sam Presti and they said, I know the NBA doesn't work this way, but we will just clean swap Isaiah Joe for Brad Beal, exact same this year contract. You're not committing to him for the same length that Isaiah Joe has, but for this upcoming season, you're going to pay them the exact same amount of money, which is like pretty high for Brad Beal, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But like Isaiah couldn't.
But
really
I don't
claim
have
that.
Brad on the Isaiah contract for the next 4 years.
What he's paid this year, and then he's off the books. You get one run with Brad Beal at Isaiah Joe's 2025, 2026 number. Who would you rather have on the roster?
Personally,
Yes.
I think Brad Beal probably is better and equivalent as far as defender. I think they're different types of players. I think Brad needs the ball in his hands more, which becomes an interesting dynamic when you're adding Topić and AJ into the mix. You want Chet to handle the ball more as
They're
he
in
gets
playoffs.
further.
Like we said this in the playoffs last
sure.
year.
And-
the regular
and-
season's fun and we'll pot about it, but like everything is about the playoffs.
For sure. I mean, the answer is Brad Beal.
Yeah.
But at some extent, I just look at it. I'm like, you have the second youngest title team in NBA history, and you have the chance to run all of it back minus DJ. Just run it all back. Like they're all going to get better. The only 2 guys that I think don't progress this next season, 3 guys: Caruso, age; Penny, age; Shea. Because if you get a better Shea next year, I don't know what the hell. We're talking about a guy that is legitimately better than Kobe. And I will say that on this podcast. If we get next year, if Shea is better than what he was this year, we're talking about a better player than Kobe Bryant.
I think my last comment, and we can stop talking Brad Beal.
If you get a copy and paste Shea next year, you're probably winning another title.
Yeah. We're talking about Brad Beal on a podcast where Brad Beal is not really a conversation, but it's fun. I think with him, the biggest intrigue is the Thunder went the entire playoffs without a single significant injury. You can't bank on that. If you lose any primary rotation piece for a couple games, he's just a guy. You can't win a title with him as your third option. You can win a game with him as your third option, or a couple games, or an early series with him as your third option. And I believe that.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. As much injury woes as this team had throughout the regular season, healthy, minus Dub's wrist throughout the playoffs.
The dudes are on the floor.
Yeah, that's a huge factor. I don't think this is going to happen. I guess let me cap my thoughts on Beal with this. It's not going to happen.
Give me a percentage. What's the percentage chance that we get a
2.
Shams Charania, Brad Beal signing with the Oklahoma City Thunder? 2%, JD?
2%.
15%.
Nick?
7.
I'll go 1.
It's low. mean,
I would love to.
Mathematically, there's 30 teams in the league and probably 10 that want him. Like, yeah.
I would love a guy in the Isaiah Joe spot that can actually play.
But it's not even odds. Like, you know, that
10 if 10 teams want him, 10 teams that are playoff contending teams want him.
For sure. Let me say this. I know nothing.
Clip that.
If it's fact. If you ask Sam Presti and the Thunder front office, hey, are you legitimately thinking about a run for Brad Beal? And then you wrote the answer down on a note card. And you didn't show anybody. And then you walked in here with a gun and you cocked it and you had a bullet in it. And then you stuck it on the side of my head and said, if you don't say what's on the backside of this note card, I'm going to blow your brains out live on the stream. I'm saying no. I'm saying they said no.
No, I don't think it's true at all.
I wish you would have waited till he said no.
I think every player that is a halfway needle moving player gets considered.
Okay.
There's no way in hell Brad Beal.
I'm not saying not get considered. I'm saying maybe
out.
they have the conversation and they say no.
Yeah,
we're not going to pursue
if the
that.
note card says no, it's because money was too much. Brad wasn't willing to take the right for sure.
I'm saying they said no. They didn't have the conversation with Brad.
Oh, I mean, if Brad goes to his agent when he gets bought out and says, "Here's the 10 teams I'm interested in," OKC's on that list, a conversation will be had. How far does it go? We don't know.
If the Thunder, if Brad gives a list of 10 teams and the Thunder aren't on that list of 10 teams, he is a dumb bastard.
Yeah, but the conversation will be had.
Wait, why is he a dumb bastard if he put the Thunder on his list?
I'm saying
So
if he left them off.
Oh,
yeah. No, I think you're dead on.
He's in New York. I'm calling it now. He's in New York.
Sam Presti and the front office have conversations on everyone, right? Like you're gonna kick the tires on everything. That's how you act responsibly as a front office. That doesn't mean you're pursuing them, and that's where a lot of times these garbage aggregated reports come from. Is like this team and this team are having conversations around this player. Well, like I bet literally like 25 of the teams are having a conversation about this player because they're just seeing what's available. That doesn't mean anything is materializing.
And Brad, his situation's different because like he's towards the end of his career. But to Justin's point, the conversations are important because if a player that's halfway interesting, you're having the conversation about on July 6th, 2025, and here's what the team is saying they want for him. A year from now, if that player is also available, that's a data point. You're like, oh, a year ago you were asking a first-round pick and a player. Like, you want as much intel as you can get. They're gonna if Brad Beal's agent calls Sam Presti and says, Brad's list of 10, you're on it. Sam's gonna have the conversation. He's not gonna say no
thanks.
No. Like he's gonna have the conversation. How far it goes is the question.
Yes, I think internally they have the conversation. I don't know if Brad could say you're on my list of 10. I think Presti and them sit down and say, "Hey, is this something we want to pursue?" Gun to my head, I'm going to say they chose no. We don't want to pursue it.
I think I'll counter you. If I don't think this is the new situation, because I think Brad still thinks he's the man. If Brad said, based on my buyout, I want $5 million over 2 years, so 2 years, $10 million. I'm okay coming off the bench. In fact, I think it'd be better for your team if I came off the bench because I'm all about winning and I want to get my first ring. I think Sam Presti says, let's talk.
Okay.
Ousmane Dieng, maybe we attach a second to because I don't know what his value is. He's out the door. Like that's an easy conversation. I think Brad Beal is being dragged through the mud because of his contract. I think he's probably worth $15 million a year based on his production very easily. And I think if he signs with Denver, we are doom potting right after because he's good.
Yeah, that's a great point.
I'm going to start shit talking his defense a bunch if Denver signs him.
I need him to go back to the East. Give me New York, like Jacob said, Milwaukee.
Milwaukee's such a sad pick because that's like Brad. He's like still trying to hang on to his stardom, and
like
he's just going to
Beal.
Phoenix. He's just going to Phoenix East, basically.
Yes.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
New York's a good
Still,
one.
but that was probably your best timed sounder of all time.
Which one? The explosion?
The gun.
Yeah, that blowing my head off.
Yep.
Blowing my head off.
That's the sound that Nick makes right after the lazy man reach around.
Jeez, not.
Can we play the outro music?
That's a steal for a layup on the other end. That's transition defense, Taylor.
Thank you for listening to The Uncontested, where we spent way too long talking about Bradley Beal. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We will be back Wednesday, or maybe we'll do half the stuff we had on the outline for today. Do more Summer League games before Wednesday as well, so be on the lookout for that. We'll break that down as well. That's all I got. We'll see you guys Wednesday. Enjoy Summer League. The music's really loud right now. Until then, and as always, Thunder up.